When two worlds combine, it sparks into existence a brand new life of clarity and cosmic insight. This is the truest form of alchemy. Join Becky Gregory and Hillis Pugh on Cosmic Insight, only on Real Revolution Radio X.
Hello, Cosmic Explorers, and welcome to another special edition of Cosmic Insight, where we are expanding your light. And we are here today with my co-creative host,
Rebecca Gregory. I'm here today, and thank you so much for joining us for this extraordinary guest we're having on today, who is HoniB. And she's an Ascension Alchemist, internationally recognized as a TransMedium TransChanneler, light language speaker, teacher, activator, and transmitter of living codes. Through her vocal tones, a galactic shaman, and an Ascension Alchemist who delivers her higher calling of the Golden Age through the activation of the Planetary Grid via Crystalline Diamond Codes, Magdalene and Yeshua Codes. She is a high-dimensional crystalline art creator, and she empowers individuals to return to their original divine blueprint. And she's also been somebody I've had the honor to experience through a session and also a class with her as well. And just being in her presence will just bring your activation and the beingness of who you are up to another level. And I am beyond honored to bring HoniB on here with us today, and just so excited and just to have fun and play in the galactic cosmos.
Hello.
Welcome, Becky and Hillis. Much love.
Much love.
Yes. It's so good to connect with another divine earth being here on this planet.
Indeed. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yes.
And once again, I want to thank you so much, HoniB, from my heart for just coming on today and being here in the presence with us. And I'm just going to say it's a very special gift to me, because you have been a huge activator in my world with, as I said, the session I had with you just put me on another level. And then taking the Sacred Breath class with you just put me on another level. So, I feel you find people in your world when you listen to your intuition that help you excel to the greatness of yourself. And you have been part of that journey for me. So I wanted to let you know that from the bottom of my heart, and just send you the utmost love, respect, and I honor you and just welcome you so much and see you for who you are. So I just needed to say that. So
But I feel like I'm gonna allow my heart to be tickled the way you're tickling it right now, because it is just that presence of God we feel with each other when we feel that joy in the celebrations. I just reflect that back with you, as it is for me. And also today being with Hillis, like just this joyous family, like real family. So thank you. And
thank you. I'm going to cry. But, talking about, isn't that what it's supposed to be in the world today, where we can connect to each other from that space and stay in that space and be in that joy. And this is what we're moving into, to be in this beautifulness of who we are as we move up through the levels of higher vibration. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got where you were, or whatever you feel like you'd like to share with us right now. Just welcome you to Cosmic Insight.
Oh, thank you. So I want to start with today, actually, because the golden moment is the most sacred moment. So today, how auspicious it is that being the 21st day of January, being the 21st year, right? And then we have this 21st century, this 3-3 frequency, this 9 completion frequency. And it was funny when we were trying to schedule this, and I was like, no, I usually feel things way before, but I don't always know what it is until I feel the frequency first, and then I always get like slammed with the God's nectar of the divine perfection. Like today, the 3 of us coming together. So this is not anything circumstantial. It's not coincidence either. It is just so perfect, part of the divine plan, and it's not what I don't feel any of this is what's supposed to be. It already always was, and it always will be. And we're just coming into the alignment, just the frequency alignment to what already exists in such perfection. So that's why I found it quite a joy. More and more and more and more that we are uniting in the divine co-creation and collaboration and alignment as soul groups, finding each other just to experience the moment of this now, and many, many, many moments of just the perfection. You can't even grasp it. You can't even digest it fully. Like, let's say, try to digest today. I woke up this morning in the prayer. Becky and Hillis was so powerful. My hands were up and I was feeling God's love. Like, wow, how much we are loved. Holy wow, we are finally experiencing the perfection of all of it. And what a celebration it is, right? So, and that's here we are today together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Experiencing, being a witness to each other, but not one part of it is the human experience, but it's not that. Each other in the wholeness, in the fullness, in the omnipresence. That is what is just nectar. I feel like I just keep eating this nectar. Wow.
I feel it. And being on with you too, it just when you get the energy of your soul family and it's just this whole new energy. It's just
it's magical,
right? Right, it's magical because it's like we're experiencing the now alchemy, what's alchemized, right? So what we brought in, and we're like, I feel like when I'm talking to you right now, I'm experiencing my 50 trillion cells vibrating, spinning, but they're spinning God's joy, and there's like the song. I can literally hear their orchestra, of the celebration, and that's what it is, because we can't really fully attempt to communicate. And usually when I get to a frequency like this, I get a little tongue-tied because I'm experiencing the frequency before this physical garment can even like try to put words. It's like, wow, look at the party right here.
It's almost like a little kid waiting for something, like at Christmas time or something, waiting for Santa to come, and you don't know how to contain yourself because you
don't know how to
overcome with so much joy and just
it's a blasting joy, right? So it's like all of our rays of light like blasting with each other, merging. The fields are coming in and out, and there's this constant dance, and that's what I experience. I feel like I'm inside, as I'm talking to you, I'm inside like a ginormous cosmic rave party, and my sister wants to dance. We haven't even started yet. So
that's what I love, that a cosmic party. I love that, because that's what it is now. I mean, we are now at this point in humanity, where other earth angels are coming together, creating this new dynamic energy, this new sacred space, holding and creating these grid lines and creating it and bringing in this new divine energy for those to follow, that are definitely more advanced than we are in their energy. And so then it's not necessarily us laying the groundwork, but it's also us having this divine frequency that we're holding, this light that we're holding, and this light that we're emitting, and this light that we are now transmuting to others. And so, when we step into this space, I really, there's no words to really fully articulate the sensation and the feeling when there's two of us and there's three of us and there's all these beings of light just coming together. And so I guess what I want to know is, how did you know, honey, it was time for you to really start doing what that you do, and everything from the energy work to the light language to the frequencies to all these things that you do, being this person, this being.
Mm. Well, thank you. One is, I'll share this and I travel back to tell you a little bit. Divine's love cannot be contained by ourselves. If we wanted to fully incorporate God's grace, we completely instill the platform of the frequency of earth. We can't fully bring it up because we will leave the body. The love is beyond the human experience, and it is through the Almighty, this Almighty, the great mighty I am presence is coming through the Holy Christ self through these bodies. But when we are with each other's presence, we're able to allow the frequency come amongst us, and we can anchor it better versus just individually. That's why these groups is so important. The more we are, the more we're able to together allow the frequency component, because it's like a 1 million watts. If it comes through one person, we'll shortchange. We can't handle it. But when we're together, it can spread through us easier and we can handle it. So it is a celebration of the unity of light. And this celebration of unity of light for me began like really a long time ago in this incarnation, from childhood actually. But before I had my major awakening was when I was 7 at the inside a fatal car crash, when I was trapped in a car with my parents, and this head-on collision that took place. And I was trapped and the car was getting ready to blow up and I couldn't get out. It was just that last second I was seeing the smoke and everything was, and we were in a desert road in the Middle East. And yeah, and I knew I'm just about to die like everybody else that had died. And my father had gone through the window, so he was stuck in there. The wheel of the car had gone into my mother's face, blood everywhere and smoke everywhere. And here I couldn't move, I couldn't, nothing. And I knew, and it was this severe fear in that moment, this severe fear in that second kicked me into the complete opposite side, where I left my body out of that little body and it came out of the car, it came way out. And I first experienced being who I really am, which was not the human honey. It was the multi-dimensional Holy Christ, the divine being honey, as a ginormous presence. And I got to experience that presence, then was brought down into my little tiny form, and then gave me the power to do what humanly so-called wasn't possible, in which we consider in our consciousness a miracle, because I was able to pull myself out and grab my father with one arm and pull him out, and then sort of like just experience the majestic. This is nothing about the trauma, the tragedy, nothing. And while my parents were in coma for days after, they didn't die, the other ones died right away, they crossed over, I got to experience the presence for days after. And then from there, I lost memory. And for a while, I guess it was time to adjust. Then from soon after that, I began my journey of being able to see beings go in and out of the wall, a very tall galactic being, blue being with me for quite a while. I was able to do all kinds of things with him. I was able to see angels, the full angels, masters, and a lot of light ships and UFOs, and then being able to experience going on a ship and all of that. So very early on. So I was 7 in the Middle East. That's when my journey began, which the parents are like, but even before I had the accident, it was 4 or 5, I would go outside in the yard with my so-called like a little tiny suitcase, and I was waiting for them, my family, to come take me, because I knew my parents were my parents. And I knew I had come through a portal because I kept drawing a cylinder looking thing. I was like, I came from here. I was trying to find it to go back through the hole. Like, I didn't know. So the journey began there. And then it was quite a lot to handle in the Middle East, I have to say, because they're very, very scared. If you don't know much about Middle East, they're extremely superstitious, and they're very frightened, particularly the Muslims, about what they call Christianity devil, or in Islam is jinns that have different 5 ones. So then when you talk about you speaking, like I remember when my mother's grandmother had died, she was 100 something, and they were taking her to, like, they had put the body in because it has to be buried within 24 hours. So I was like 5 or 6, and they were putting the body on and taking it to the cemetery, but she was walking next to me. So I kept like pulling on my mom. I'm like, Mom, she's not dead. She's right here. So, and they're like, and she's like, shh, shh. And I was like, well, she's here. So my parents tried to constantly tell me to shh, shh. And I was eventually a little bit kicked out of school because the school children were very frightened, and they kept calling home saying she brought ghosts, and they said ghosts or jinns. And so, and they're like, they didn't want that anymore. And at that time, I have to tell you, because I was like around 3rd grade when the revolution took place, this tall blue Arcturian being was very helpful to me, because we would have drills to go under the tables because the airplanes with the bombs would come. So we had to, as children, we didn't learn like tornado, we learned like bomb drills to go hide or hear the airplane where, it was bombing at that time. So I would go under the table, but this tall, incredible blue Arcturian being was always, I never felt scared. Like, I just felt like I was so beautiful, taken care of. But everybody else was scared of the things I would say or do. And I was, as usual, like many of us, we were very outcast, and we were not really accepted, and very lonely then, because people they weren't experiencing what you were experiencing, and because they didn't know how to translate it or how to relate to it, then it was that projection of something's wrong with you. So like me, many of us, I went through that journey for many, many years until and it's been a journey where many of us, then we decided to shut it off and attempt to just put the spirit gifts aside and be like the ordinary individuals, and then go through this severe depression and suffering, because then being in the closet, you cannot be who you are. It's not safe to be who you are. And especially those of us who are mediums or transmediums, and then not wanting them to talk to you, cutting it off, like literally cutting it off. But mine got blasted wide open when my father died, and I knew he would, because I was told that would be the last time I would see him, and from then all the guilt kicked in, and then till that was when I was 21. Then when I became pregnant with my son when I was 28. That's when I got reawakened. My entire, my son coming into this incarnation, the first one kind of like kicked my ass with opening everything. You can't hide anymore. And then the younger one who's here, he's 17 now, he opened the door of super galactics. I mean, super galactics, telepathy and everything. And so that's when I got re-stretched and open up, because I had no choice. And I had and I will share this, my reawakening with my older son is because he was very ill when he was born. And I was so upset and angry. I was so distraught of the sacred gift from God came in like this. And I had shut the door to God. And then I turned to God and I said, you did this. You better have an answer for me. I'm going to listen. Talk to me. Why? And that's how door opened up and God began really speaking through Mighty I Am, one by one, show me everything. And that was the 20 years ago is when my consciousness blasted open about the deep, deep dark within the governments, the politics, the movies. And so my first one opened me to this and how deep things are. And then from there, my younger one came. Then that's when we experienced with him his first memory as began talking. He wanted to know where the ship was, where were the crystals, why was I his mother, why I'm not his sister anymore, what did I do to crystals? And we had so many UFOs over our house. We had, and at that time, my former spouse was a special agent with Department of Defense, top secret. So here I was on the other side of it, experiencing light shifts, meet my son, blue beings in our room, all kinds of things plugged in my back, all kinds, and we keep being taken into the light shifts and, so a lot took this until I died. So that until I died on January 8, 2012.
I know you just had your 9-year rebirth.
Right. And that's when really everything was revealed. I had my true revelation on spirit side, life after death, that I got to experience the majestic ecstasy of the divine perfection, going from the different bodies till I was able to be in the full consciousness, meeting the Arcturian Council of 12, the elder, they're called the Golden Council, that sit behind our Helios Vesta sun. And then everything that they showed to me with the life review and also my soul purpose, and they brought my DNA, shifted everything around, which I didn't know at that time I'll be sent back to Earth. Everything happened very fast, but it was readjusted so I have enough, let's say, width to be able to handle the rest of this incarnation and finish it in this final incarnation after 844 lives. So I was sent back with quite a crisp diamond clarity, and that was the start of being able to bring the diamond frequency of the Christ light, the crystalline frequency with the golden liquid light anchored into Gaia's grid. I was assigned to the third grid system specifically, so they had to adjust me to come back and do the clearing and then the activation, so that around the stratosphere of Earth, this frequency can be held. I was one part amongst others, so that individuals, humanity can move into the vibration of the diamond frequency. This took a while until, like you, Becky, where you felt the call to experience diamond activation. Yes. And so up to this point, long answer.
I remember that activation because I think it was a year ago on New Year's?
Yeah.
And I think I was the first one you did that year. And I remember after you were done, you had this cycle you had channeled for me or came through. You said it was at a different level.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And it had
started like a whole nother octave. And that's usually the case when people are around, enough people around the planet, when they are activated. So some of us healers are transmitters. We agreed on a soul plane to come to, we call it so-called way showers, but it's not quite like that. It's more like a time release capsule where we agreed, okay, I am going to release this time release capsule first, so that kind of like the goose that flies, the geese follow it. The first one that has to go break it open, So me and a few others are assigned to first go through it. It's kind of like that metamorphosis experience, just so we can adjust with the frequency and bring it through. And then the other ones, because there has to be enough of us as transformers that can handle the first frequency to then the other ones adjusting. So there's continuously this octave of light adjustment, because we can't all do it at once. We will not be able to live in our human vessel is not capable with its light spectrum at that level to be contained. It has to be morphed and adjusted.
You know, it's interesting too, HoniB, that you talk about diamond frequencies. I've been working a lot with that myself recently, especially the diamond heart frequency, the diamond heart energies. I've been working with that with myself and with my clients. But Rebecca, as HoniB was talking earlier, I noticed that you were looking up and out, and I'm like, okay, who's there with you? What message is coming in? Because I felt that energy. I'm like, okay, what is there? So what you feeling? Because I know there was something coming in.
Oh, actually, I was been looking because since we started, the vultures, I always call them the clearing angels, and they've been flying around and circling. Before we started, 3 of them came in, and then as we're talking, they keep on getting my attention, so I keep on looking up at them because they keep on flying, making swoops, but up in the air. So
wonderful.
I know, but honestly, I felt there was like another presence, like standing over you, over your right shoulder, left shoulder, one of those shoulders behind you, something. I don't know.
There could have been.
There are always presence around as we are here. There's numerous and many different dimensions here as they come to support. So I'm fully aware of Saint Germain to my left right now. Yeshua is above, a little bit further back. Like, I mean, just the numerous of them, they're here as they are, because they're just always present and ready and to support the frequency that gathers. We are a portal of light together right now. So they come to just make sure it's clean, it stays in this. And if there is if there wants to be brought a specific signature or message, then it will be brought in with just, as it's supposed to. So as it's guided to. So I'm very aware of that. No surprise.
We're never alone.
No, we're not. And now that you brought that up, I am, since we are moving into this new Aquarian energy, that we are moving into this 21st century energy, and we step on more and more into this divine space, and being a 9 day and 9 and just really tapping into that. So is there any particular message that you feel that Yeshua and Saint Germain would like to communicate, to offer guidance as we move through this energies?
I can ask.
Yeah, I mean, only because I feel there's like this really beautiful resonance of the 3 of us that is connected. And so for whatever reason, this energy, this information is being asked to come through this day. I'm not sure what the message is. I just feel that there is.
Sure. And I like to address that from my perspective first, and then and I'll ask them. One of the things I have found, like Hillis, I am a multi-dimensional TransMedium TransChanneler, and one of the big part of the discipline being honoring the frequency in which wants to come in has been to recognize that all the masters, all the great ascended masters that are assigned for us to be in collaboration with. There is a ginormous team that works with so many of us and overlapping, and we kind of like hot potatoes that are passed on from one to another, and it's part of our mastery. There are different arts of mastery within these qualities of God that we are here to anchor. Now, the masters assist with the rays of light within these qualities. And when we are able to really be in the flow of that ray of light, and it's flowing, and it's flowing, let's say, freedom that just is allowed to be communicated, and it is just spoken, because it's the merging of that ray of light and their electronic consciousness, their light consciousness, their substance literally with yours, that has been able to come together. So the words are coming. And then there's another part when we, for example, we actually go into the state of channel so that they can then take over the wheel and speak through, whether they just speak through here, or like in my case, there'll be incorporation coming. So part of this as a discipline has been to recognize, okay, navigation in this and the allowance of it. So you are correct. As we are speaking, I am very aware of their presence, and I'm also very aware of the frequency that is so close in their merging of their electronic substance consciousness, that the words are being spoken. So it doesn't necessarily need to go to a channel or a message come in, because it already is being in communication. Now, the one thing that I will ask, and I feel as we go, like I usually get a like some kind of nudge or something that I ask, okay, what happens in my case, they drop in closer in and they step forward and they have a direct message. So I will open that space. If you have it there, please come bring it. But I'm aware they're watching me. Am I communicating what I'm supposed to communicate as well? You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
to answer your question regarding one message that I will share with you, because it has to do with 2021, and the way we came into 2021 was the Sophia Christ frequency, which you got to experience some of it on Tuesday night, this building of this golden pink ray of light, which is the cosmic Christ light, and this 144 petals of the fully blossomed rose that is able to radiate the light with this 144 qualities out to all time and space reality. It's in complete blossom state. From that's the frequency we've come into, because it's already the celebration of light. The light is already always celebrated. There is nothing that needs to do or become. It already is. And it is our consciousness that is learning to celebrate what is without it attempting to become something other than itself. So 2021, it is the unity celebration of the fullness presence of our eternal presence, true presence, the only gift that we are able to give to ourselves and to all mankind is when we are able to receive that omnipresent as a gift, that in its presence of what is, which you are and I am and we are. So it's first beyond anything, it's just acceptance and no more running away from this. Why are we so trying to play cool and humble and like, oh, I don't know anything, or oh, I'm not like this, or I'm not, that's like ego bullshit, you know, like you are mighty eternal presence. It's time to own it. so that you can live from there in the embodiment and serve from them, because it does it through you. There's no more that figuring out how to do it. And I feel that's that the celebration of the Sophia Christlight is the container of the Divine Mother that has beheld you for you to just be the presence and the fullness of the presence without holding anything back anymore. So that, I feel, is the big message, because what that does, let's say with Saint Germain, the action of the violet flame. What does the violet flame really do when we're able to work with it as an actual tool, not just say the decree? The decree of the action of the spoken word is important. It is a tool. But when you're able to pull it in and you're able to work with it, you are completely taking the power of a flame that is able to vibrate through the fields, transmute, transcend, transform what is dense, that is in separation, to what is in fullness, eternal presence, and is able to take this like debris into the flame of mercy to transmute it, because it is recognizing it's an illusion. It's an illusion of separation. So this is the year we've come into, and that's why from this place we're able to see so clearly what is playing out on the earth plane, and to recognize whether our sacred frequency is going to be drawn towards it, to co-create more of it, or draw towards, like, let's say this, to co-create, to give it more power to expand, you see? And the Sophia Christlight has to do with the true holy Christed selves of all of us. There is no second coming of Christ of an individual being. It is the inner Christed light that's become crystalline diamond. So we have come to recognize we are the ultimate jackpot we've been waiting for. Like, there's no price you can put on this diamond. So I am the living Christ, holy shizzle. And that's what beloved Yeshua wanted us to recognize. So from that place, if you know you're carrying this 110 pounds of diamond, you better believe you're going to take good care of this holy vessel, right? You're not going to be mishandling it.
Right. Oh my goodness. So
Goddess, yeah.
I have not been able to sit still since the beginning of the show.
What did you say?
Have not. I mean, I had my feet moving, my knees moving. I swivel in my chair, and typically when that happens, I have to have movement to help release, and integrate these enormous energies.
Yeah. Like it's all like that. It's like pulling in the light, like stream coming down.
Yeah. That was beautiful, and how you explained it, the message. And yes, I completely 100% am in alignment with that message. So everyone, hit rewind, listen to that again.
You know what, Hillis, I want to just simplify one thing.
Yes.
So you spoke about the diamond heart. It is the diamond heart. The diamond heart. So my paintings, like the ones you see, all of these here, they're the 12 different rays of light. So those are the 6 over there, and the rest on the bottom. Like those ones over there. That first blue one is dedicated to the holy will of God, the first layer, the blue flame. And the other one is the triple flame, which is the threefold plume. that sits on the altar of your heart. And it is the diamond frequency that comes from the mighty I am in its ray of light. But its ray of light has an actual function. And that function, for example, is the will of God, which is the power of God, which connects to your solar plexus. This diamond frequency, when you're able to recognize it is no longer your human will, because you are a divine sovereign being, and the command center is through the heart that comes from the mighty I am. Within this diamond, crystalline, powerful frequency, it is so. I remember Beloved Yeshua told me, he said, when you become the diamond, nothing will touch you. Mm-hmm. So from that place, you are in a presence that's so supreme in its consciousness. So it radiates God's love so clearly, because there's none of these things where the light bends anymore. It comes and blasts out, and it is through the heart here, boom. So I feel like mornings when I'm standing there, like this morning, I'm singing because I'm feeling it, like it's coming and it blasting from all of its facets out. That's the presence that is here to do its work through the diamond heart. So from here, when we hold each other's hand, we're holding each other's heart of the diamond so it can move through us. You see? So, and then these rays of light connect with each other and strengthen the fields of octaves of light in the spectrum of light, so that all these heavenly goods can be literally brought as a streaming line onto earth, onto Terra. It's not even earth. The Galactic Federation of Light recognizes her as Terra because she is awaiting to take her seat on the Galactic Federation of Light, not the way some of these channelers are like communicating from that place, like truly at that reverence, because there's so much respect with the living libraries that she has here that many of us are connected into. And we can only open them from the diamond heart, because it's your heart's got to be so clean and pure. Like, again, such a clean, I don't know, 100-carat diamond, a million carat diamond. It's got to be like that to open, because you will not do anything less than the divine perfection from that place. You cannot open, your key cannot open it unless your key is clean, because it won't give you access, because you cannot manipulate it, you cannot control it, you cannot harm it. The door isn't open if your heart isn't clean.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm sitting here right now. I'm usually I'm the one moving around everywhere, and I'm just like in a standstill and just feel the light rays, just like, as I said, just my heart coming out of me. But that's such a beautiful, I love that you just expressed all that just divine reverence, because it is where we need to be right now. And I'm just going to say it, humans are programmed to get caught up in the doing of everything in life. And it's the being, and being in that diamond heart and that love, and just it's just being who you are and claiming that who you are and being in that beautiful, beautiful I am all presence.
Right. And there's an action within that embodiment. Like, for example, we are doing something. You did put the action in creating the Zoom link right now.
Yes.
You did put this together to come. So there is this, but the doing is not coming. It's coming from the embodiment of the heart that recognizes, okay, I'm coming together because this frequency of light is going to go out, and it's a frequency that others will come into, and they too will come into that place of the inner diamond. So it is from the first is the embodiment, and then the step from that embodiment is actually very necessary. The beingness is first, that is aligned, and then the actions come from there. Actions come from there. Actions come from there. And that is the game changer in 2021, because we have recognized this on an etheric mental plane for so long. And that's been beautiful. We've had 8 years from 2012 to now to handle this, to go through various steps of attempting to handle this and adjust, and now it's fiercely being. In being, there's no denying any part anymore. None of this like, oh, I'm shy, I can't accept I'm an eternal flame, or God is in me, or God loves it. Like all of this, like there's a reverence, pure reverence, like, and just the awe, really the awe of really what you are. Because when you come to that place, you're not letting this little part of you take the wheel and attempting to take these tiny little steps. That's like quite pathetic, I have to say, pity and pathetic. It's not coming from judgment, because it just is like this, because it's still taking steps of like being timid, being insecure, being like not in charge. It's time of being in charge, because you already are.
Yes. Like that brings you in the flow. It brings you in that divine flow that you don't have to. I'm going back to the doing again, just how I can comprehend it. The doing, and that when you're in that divine flow of who you are, it's not really doing, because you're just flowing.
Yeah, and so you continuously then are in the eternal flame. I mean, this eternal flame, there is the recognition, I do not need, here's the key.
Gotcha.
Need or desire anything more on the outside in attempt to feed me or try to support who I am. I am. So I'm not going to go to 100 more sessions for this, to all these other healing sessions for this, all of this. You do, and you align that, and you stay in there, and you raise it to even more of this flame. So that's the real key part, because one of the downfalls is that the consciousness, when it experiences itself, it expands into its horizontal magnetic field, and it's formless, is so free flowing. Then it wants to take a form, to take charge of it, and then it feels it's not. Then there's this part that feels it's not enough. So let me go now, take another class, do another thing, another one, and you've got to be able to catch that. You are able to, every single one of us, in the morning, sit there, dare to experience and breathe how loved you are by you, by Almighty you, by Holy Christ itself, by the great mighty I am, and breathe in. That's right, you are already. You came in so insanely perfect. It's like it blows your mind how perfect you are. Breathe in that a little bit, and then let all the other BS's belief systems shatter away, because there's nothing else. There's no becoming. There is no learning, truly. There is none of that. That's from that consciousness. You already are. The question becomes, what do you want to do about it?
Beautiful.
I love that. What are you going to do about it? However, I do want to.
Power. What do you want to do now?
Yes.
It's right in your hands, because it's from the diamond heart. This were given to you for you to create it now from here.
Yeah. And but I would like to add, HoniB, I would like to add on to what you said about the word in particular embodiment. And as you were speaking that, I received the energetic translation of that word, and embody or embodiment rather, am meaning the great I am, and then body is doing, and meant is complete. So I am complete as you step into this embodiment of this energy, as you just mentioned so eloquently, the perfection of who you are. Because what are you going to do now that you understand this perfection that you are loved, that you are supported, that you are cared for, that you are this eternal being that is here to represent the energy in which you have asked to bring forth in this world now.
Yeah, and you want that instantaneous healing, right? Come to the mighty I am. You want to do something? Just keep saying, mighty I am, mighty I am, mighty I am. This is what I did years ago. I started just saying, I am, I am, I am. And I would go into the chant. I would say it and say it, and then I would see it starts to build and build because it's coming down. It's coming down. So it has to hit your consciousness. It has to hit like your soul star chakra. When it kicks that in, then it's got to come into the other bodies. So it's hitting your etheric body, then it's hitting your mental body, it's coming to your emotional body. And when that frequency starts coming to your emotional body, things start to move, right? As it starts to move, okay, so all of that frequency that was sitting there, that was in separation of this consciousness, begins to start vibrating because the light is blasting it. Then it wants to come into the physical, so it has to ground it. That's why it is so important to ground. You got to ground the energy, and the grounding the energy, when it comes in, it's going to come and hit your heart. It has to go through your lower 3 chakras to ground it. So that's why many light workers that are staying here, they're ungrounded, they're walking disaster. They can't ground that frequency. It's going to backfire. It's going to go out to the atmosphere the other day. We have to ground it right here because we are in the earth template. As we ground it into here, then we are able to pull it in here. And usually when we're pulling it, we're earthing it, right? So we're be earthing it. It's in that beingness, you're be earthing it. So it's some kind of creative energy. It's movement, energy, creation, art. That's why the arts are so important, because it's materializing. We're literally alchemizing the frequency. So we got to pull it in. And then when it hits earth, when it hits our physical temple, it hits earth, it blasts out. And it blasts out through the roots of the trees, the wisdom trees. You see what I mean? That's how it goes. And then they ground it. So then they ground it with the waters of bodies of water, and then ground it into the crystals, and then it hits down and it hits the core of Gaia's crystalline diamond heart. So it's like it's a responsibility and a discipline. And I feel there's that part of individuals recognizing the discipline in this. And that's where discipline comes from disciples. Why disciples? Because we were in deep discipline practice.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, you've left me speechless, HoniB. I'm just...
I'm just letting all that goodness just flow right on in.
I feel you. I know you and your beloved do some things. You have your tea time and a couple different things. Would you like to tell the listeners that are listening today to join you on some of the things that you do, bringing in your beautiful work, your mission here?
Sure. So we really find that this is Master Metatron had really helped a few years ago with this, that the planetary shift also has to do with the consciousness within the financial system, really ties into that. It's huge. So the power of giving from the abundant nature of, again, what we already are. We are nature by nature. In God's grace, we are fully abundant. We do not need to create abundance. We don't need to manifest, materialize abundance, because it already is. So again, tapping into from that place, from the overflowing of the frequency, we are here to gift from this diamond heart the gifts, literally gifted from the joy of giving. So having said that, this has been a huge part, but it just so happened to be that my grandmother was a huge part of this. I grew up in the family that it was always, you have to give to others. And for them, it wasn't so much of religion or anything like that, but you give because you're blessed. And of course, there was a bit of a guilt trip, a little bit on that. You're blessed, there's a little bit of that. So years later, this shifted. So when Metatron told me this, one of the first thing was, he asked me, I had to shut everything down, close LLC, close everything. Said, you will now live from spirit. You don't question how it comes, because it already is here. So I've been living in that for 6 years now. No questions on everything we do. There's no fee, zero. So it's love, blessed gift offering. We don't question. We just invite people to blessed, go into the prayer, tap into their own, empower the voice in here, and from there offer to us, so we can continue to do what we gotta do. So that's one part. The other part of it is to do our Tuesday night, for example, meditation. That's on our YouTube channel, to gift this space together with our sacred sisters and brothers, and go into these visions that are for the solution of earth, and just show up to serve together. There's no money needed for any of this. We allow it. The other part is Friday tea time. Friday tea time, we sit back, chill, have some tea. Like my grandmother used to say, she's a big put her feet up, let's talk. And because in that talking, relaxing back, a lot of everybody else has their own. God already gave you everything. You don't need it. But when you just are able to be in this container, the natural solutions, finally, when you start to speak, then the answers are right behind it. So we do that Friday tea time, and we get to share with the community. And that's, again, on our YouTube channel. This is 2 hours of giving, because we couldn't imagine not doing it. It's the gift that keeps giving. Yes. The other one is our Sacred Sunday Spiritual Service. We've been doing this now for 3 years. This is the messages of divine from the great mighty I Am presence, and it's usually in invocations and decree. Michael and I have our own different space. We don't tell each other what the message was until we come in. We have people that gather here also online, and we have this 1 hour of our Love Church Sunday service. And again, that's also free. And we used to do this with speakers that would join in, just to help show what's it like when we open the doors of giving. It multiplies even more. So you keep wanting to give even more. So we have those. And tomorrow, I have been wanting to start this 2021, this play part. So tomorrow, I made the announcement today. I was waiting for today to make the announcement. So tomorrow on my YouTube channel, which is at HoniB, it is the literally gift away with HoniB. So every Friday, I am going to be gifting. You have no idea what I'm going to gift. I don't know what I'm going to gift, but I am gifting from just the pure joy and celebration that I can do this, and others receive it. So we keep opening this to others, because this is the consciousness of the cities of light that is in celebration. We don't give because we're suffering. We give because we're in joy, you see? And so tomorrow, I'm going to have the people, the only thing that I ask people is come to my YouTube channel, which is HoniB, subscribes, like it, and on there, on the comment section, write, I am ready to receive, so, and I'm ready to give. So you open that in you, because all I've seen through this, the more we gave our frequency from love, the more we gave, the more doors open to us. That's all I know. And this really changes the consciousness of the light community that says, oh, equal exchange, I have to do this. This is not the consciousness of divine. I'm sorry, it is not. You give because you are blessed. You are so blessed that you open up to the frequency and you are receiving it. So you give it, and only more comes to give through you. It's a whole different consciousness. So that's what we have, and we welcome all of you. But we do have private sessions and all of that. That is on Love Gift Offering. And at some point, Becky and Hillis, we've been shown all of that is going to be finished. They have shown we'll be on the land where we'll have the space will be given to us that all of everything we do will be for free. And that's exactly what we've done step by step to be in that place. So, because this is when I do a service, it's God's gifts. I don't own it. Like, even like, my art, I make it available here, gifted, because it's God's gift. Like, it has to come out for others. Like, oh, how silly for me to put a price on it. Like, I can't. Like,
I feel the same way with my work. I do. I always like, how can I put a price on it? And I received what you do as well with the exchange. So I'm
and because you can empower you when you come from that place. Is such a rain. When you come, you only open that door to you 100 times full. So who am I to tell you? Like, how am I going to empower you if I'm going to tell you? Because then I'm supporting a system of dogmatic approach of I'm telling you. Like, no.
Yeah.
God also put that in you, your own internal diamond. See what your diamond's telling you. Come to me with your diamond, I want your diamond heart. I don't want
I want to tell you too, while we were talking earlier in the show, your announcement for your thing tomorrow night popped up on my computer. I'm like, oh, HoniB's here.
That's gonna be fun to watch. So one of the things with that is so with that, as people do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick somebody randomly. So let's say somebody random I pick. If they are local, I'm going to drive to their place. The whole thing is video. So they'll receive the gift, so they get to experience. If it is online, then I'll do that. But each time is going to be videoed. And tomorrow starts with my grandmother's book. What's in it is going to go out.
Oh, fun. It's like the Honey Clearance House. Like the Publishers Clearinghouse they use that when they film it when they won the money.
Yeah, so the whole thing is going to be videoed. Yeah, it's going to be video because and the gift of it. Like, I have tons of crystals. I have all kinds of things here, and I want to see. Okay, what? But each item is going to be very valuable that I'm going to gift because I feel so blessed that I can gift. And not because I have so much, none of that, because the frequency of Almighty has touched my heart. And I want this gift to be touched to others so they can receive that same blessing in their heart. Like every morning when we do our blessing for our breakfast, I always ask, please allow these doors to open to all other hearts so they can get a taste of what this is. So then they see the perfection of it and they're not in suffering. I feel that probably is more of the core to help people not suffer.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's what this year, months, days, hours, seconds, that's what it's all moving into, because it's all energy in just one form, one shape or another. It's how we are now transmuting this energy, and it's beautiful. And just listening to you is also inspiring, because we are of the same, and yet when we come together, there's this magnitude of exchange of ideas, thoughts, energies, and all this stuff that we get so caught up in. And then you pause like today, because this is a pause for me to think, wait a minute, that's new. Wait a minute, that's new. Oh, wait, that's new. Oh, wait, so it's like all this newness moves into beingness. So thank you for this level of inspiration and sharing your energy with us today.
Thank you.
Oh, I know. It's been an hour already. Can you believe that? When you're in the
Wow, look at that.
Oh
Wonderful.
my gosh.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today, just to express you, because as I said, you are an inspiration, and just your story, and I just love you so so much.
My diamond heart loves you. Both
Yes.
of you.
Yes.
Oh gosh. And I want to thank
Crystalline heart.
yes, that's what it is. And do you have anything you'd like to close the show with that you would like to express as we wrap it up here today?
I really feel that in this now, if we can gift ourselves the gift of trust that all, truly all, is taken care of, all is part of the divine plan, and we get to just create a little space to sit in that space, we can experience the divine perfection, and from divine perfection take this step into our day, so that we can create the changes on earth, not from the denser consciousness, because it cannot, but from the vibration that is already omnipresent. It's whole, it's eternal, it's shadowless, it's infinite, so that that presence can be anchored together as a whole for these sacred children. My whole thing is these sacred children. I'm a parent of two of them, and we had breakfast the other day. I said, look, we did this, we laid the foundation. What do you guys want to create here? Like, wow. So here, there's no more obstacles. So we have a responsibility from that consciousness to stay in the divine alignment of the vibration, so these sacred ones can bring through their supreme work, for it is for the cities of light. That is where I'm very, very passionate about, and grateful for, and entrusting more and more of my sisters and brothers of light will take that time, recognizing that they are the sons and daughters of the Almighty, so they can take the responsibility from that place and not diminish their light in any way.
From my mother heart, I so feel you on that. I have a daughter as well who's 21, and she's been through quite an experience. So, so I have that same inside of me. So, I feel you on that.
Thank you. And thank you so much to both of you for your beautiful presence today, for gifting me this opportunity to interact with you and allowing this data file between us be shared, like as if the drawers were open and closing, the datas were being put into another place. I was watching that, having a little fun time with that as well. And thanks to our beautiful team of light that are constantly watching over us, and the mystical angelic team, archangels and archeas, very, very grateful to them, and the Elohim. They're just so much. We're so blessed to walk with such a large team, to be with each other. Thank you. And I have a few wonderful, delicious friends that I love to introduce you to have on your show. Would be so, they're very sacred beings. I feel it would be wonderful for your audience if you would do that.
We welcome that. Thank you so much. We so appreciate that. And we're making plans for Michael to come on as well.
Yes, it will be fun for Michael. That voice of, and I feel like individually him would be really wonderful, because he's got his own signature to share would be really, really wonderful. So thank you so much for
Oh
that.
gosh, yes.
Anybody needs anything, they
Yeah.
can do best to get in touch with me, like through Facebook or Instagram, or all of that information is on there as well.
Well, thank you so much again. Oh my gosh, I am so full right now. I just I don't know what to do with myself. I'm gonna go run outside and throw my hands up.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I'm just like,
Ooh. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us for Cosmic Insight for this lovely edition with HoniB. So yes, I can't even talk anymore. So
until next time, you guys have an amazing day.
Bye bye.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised, but heard instead, dear listeners, through podcast radio on realrevolutionradio.com. Never before has inspirational podcast radio been taken to this next level of wow. Until now, today in the age of information, more and more people are searching for answers and in solutions in how to better approach and perceive every day-to-day concerns by tuning in to realrevolutionradio.com. Isn't it about time we take back our lives, back in consciousness, in a higher state of awareness, in the evolution of our own state of higher well-being? Yes, we can do so consciously every day by tuning in to the many groundbreaking and third eye-opening podcasts. Our new Cleveland-based network of over 33 paradigm-shifting internet talk shows. Only on realrevolutionradio.com. Be part of that change. Evolve. Be inspired.